I always forget to do, I'll start again and we'll start recording. So if I go back to the screen share, so it's an iSpring webinar. We've talked through the agenda and how it's all going to work. And the first section we're going to go through is actually using PowerPoint. It's no good actually using PowerPoint if you're just going to use it as you normally do and expect it to be a fantastic output at the end. You've got to know how to use PowerPoint more effectively. In other words, use effective design, use of the notes section of things, text and images, animations and triggers. Now, a very quick way of understanding some of that is if I go off my share now and I go on to show you PowerPoint. Stop sharing PowerPoint. Sorry. This is a typical PowerPoint, which should be on the, that's all right. Typical PowerPoints that I've got on the screen. If I look closely at this particular PowerPoint here, where I'm looking at the calendar, when I said use of images and triggers, if you right-hand mouse click, animations and actions, there is a lot more that comes into PowerPoint on understanding many of these functions. And if you use PowerPoint more effectively, you will always get a much better interaction. This session today is not about how to use PowerPoint on these levels, but I wanted to introduce that PowerPoint must be used. If you use it correctly, you will get some really very exciting presentations. And some examples will show you later, so don't worry, I'm just going through. The use of notes section, which you can see here, is also very useful. Most people use the notes in PowerPoint just for their own reading notes, but generally speaking, everything you see in PowerPoint here can be transferred through iSpring, which is what we're trying to describe later. But you must know how to use PowerPoint first. So if I go back into my document share, and I'm going to show you something else, which is a Word document. Right, so some people are saying they can't hear the sound. Do you want to put your headphones on? Okay, so the sound should be recording. Right, Okay, so there does seem to be some people have got sound and some people have not. So just make sure your audio is turned up on your setup. So I will move through a little bit further. It is being recorded, so don't worry, you can always play back and scoot through later. There's a document here which is being produced quite nicely by a company called Bright Carbon, who are located here in Manchester. They have got some really very nice little tutorials on how to use PowerPoint more effectively. And I'm strongly recommending that you have a look at some of these tutorials, which will show you how to use PowerPoint, build things, build the animations, and they are relatively very simple to do. And understanding how to work with visualizations and tutorials. I will leave this in there for you, so at the end of the session you'll be able to download the document with all the links. So if we go back to our keynote, and I'll stop sharing our document here. Go back into here. So, as I said, if you've got a really good PowerPoint to start with, then it makes a lot of difference. So if I just show you one that we did earlier, and it does give you a better idea of I'm going to share app PowerPoint, and there's a PowerPoint that's been done here on stress management. Yeah, again. And you'll see here that we've used the, just zoom in a little bit. We've used nice icons, the use of the slide, the notes on the bottom, all the way through. So you do get a better idea of how we've used PowerPoint more effectively to create something that then could be converted. Okay, so I'm going to stop on sharing that for a minute. I'm going to go back to our agenda. So really what we're going to come on to now is what is iSpring. So we've talked about PowerPoint. We're going to design something in PowerPoint. It's going to look really good. We've got triggers. We've used animations. What do we do with it then? And then we move into iSpring products. Now, I'm going to ask Mikhail to do a bit of an introduction on the iSpring products, if that's all right with you.
Okay, no problem. So initially, iSpring was a tool that converted PowerPoint to Flash, and that was pretty much it. But now we support all the modern technologies such as HTML5 output that gives us support on all kinds of mobile devices. iPads, Androids, iPhones, etc. And moreover, iSpring Presenter and iSpring Suite products are having e-learning compatibility. That means that you can create quizzes and enrich your presentations with some interactions to build up more sophisticated learning courses.
Right, so I'll go through, I've got some screen sharing to do in a minute which will go through what the products are and some more additional information. But I'll run through the slides a little bit first. So, Mikhail, you were explaining a little bit that this is transforming this part of the e-learning for free. So if you'd like to describe a little bit how this is changing?
Well, during the whole time of iSpring existence, we had free products that which were completely functioning, but with not with that much sophisticated functionality as our professional products. But still, using iSpring Free, you can convert your PowerPoint presentations to Flash now, and we have development plan that will that iSpring Free, a newer version of iSpring Free will support HTML5 conversion as well. And during past years, we've came up with Free Quizmaker, and that enabled us to create a complex free e-learning suite. So Yeah, iSpring Free is freeware, so you can download it and convert your presentations without any watermarks. But with iSpring Pro, which is considered to be a professional tool, you can do a little bit more, much more customization on how your content will look like. You can do manage narrations and some other things that you can figure out by using iSpring Pro.
That's fine. But we will have a little free, sort of a nice little freebie for people towards the end, and that will be access to iSpring Suite 7, which I'm now going to just go onto the web page to demonstrate as well. So just give me a minute. So I'm now sharing Safari. Now this is the main page, and obviously this is the main product page, which anyone can see. There's nice videos. There's always plenty of videos and plenty of support from iSpring on how to do everything. So it's not a session on how to do it, but knowing what you can do. So if we go down the group, probably the next thing to look at is how it actually works. So essentially it puts this extra ribbon on top of your PowerPoint. So I think in general, Mikhail, would you like to go through what's in the ribbon?
Well, it's always kind of boring to explore what's actually placed on our ribbon, but the main button that we utilize most of the time is Publish. It is an essential function of iSpring to publish your PowerPoint presentation to a mobile-friendly format. So by clicking Publish, your PPT presentation will be transformed to a web page that can be uploaded to any website, or also it can be saved as a zip package, which can go to any quorum-compliant learning management system like Moodle or Blackboard. Also, we have on the left-hand side Preview button, which allows us to preview, for example, a few slides, not to waste time converting all the presentation and see how it look like just previewing some slides. On the right-hand side, we have Manage Narration options, and under Presentation buttons group, we have such options as adding resources like documents to our presentation, which will be available in the special in the resources section in iSpring Player. Also, we can add some information about presenters and our company. The most interesting part, I believe, in Presenter and Suite, which makes them different from iSpring Pro, from a regular PowerPoint to Flash converter, and HTML5, of course, is Insert buttons group that allows us to add quizzes built with iSpring Quiz Maker. Some of the interactions and the great addition to the new program iSpring Suite 7 is characters library, so you can now add different characters to make your presentation more personable. Also, YouTube feature is available in iSpring Suite as well as in all other iSpring products, including iSpring Free. I think other options are pretty understandable. So I would just focus that Publish is the main button that we usually work with.
Yeah, I mean, that works really well. I mean, I know that I've used it for many years now, and it's a very simple platform. It's because there's the extra bit, the added functionality into PowerPoint that makes the difference. So obviously there's a few of the things in here at the moment as I scroll through, which is obviously you can record your video lectures. So you can have a picture of you recorded and you've got an outline, you've got notes, and you've got buttons and so on, so you can create it in your own way. These were the interactive quizzes and surveys that you can do, and you can look at various types that they can create. Obviously all of these are on the website, so I don't need to worry too much about it. They're all there and you can get an idea. And then there's the rich media interactions. There's book. These are also the new features which I quite like. I like the idea of the glossary as such, because that is something we were short of at one point. And the timeline and FAQs. So you do get an idea. There's quite a lot of things which are added in. Remember, all of these additional functions are just added as an extra layer inside of your original PowerPoint. There's no extra learning. It all stays within the PowerPoint window. So, as I said, and then you've got your characters. Now, from my perspective, I first saw the characters which used in a piece of software called Articulate Storyline. So that's where I've seen the first line of using these particular characters. But the characters, you can have different characters introduced in your slides in lots of different ways. I'm not going into a great deal of detail in this, but you just know it's an added function. And then obviously moving in, support for mobile devices, create once, view everywhere. We're going to talk a little bit more about mobile towards the end. There's one section on mobile, and I'll leave this to the very end. And this bit where we'll come on to publish one click. We'll come on to this in a few minutes' time. And then Blackboard as we're going through. So, going back to my agenda, some examples I think is the next bit. So, we actually used iSpring for developing health and safety courses last year for the whole university, and this has been delivered to something about 15,000 students. So these are with narration, so we've used the notes section here, which is the same notes section that's actually inside PowerPoint. And
welcome to the Principles of Risk Assessment. You will learn more about. Welcome to the Principles.
I won't go all through them. I'll cut the noise down, but each one has got audio on it. So we essentially went through, there's a fairly static presentation, but aims and objectives and notes. Making really quite use of the notes section on the left-hand side is very useful rather than cluttering up your whole PowerPoint presentation, because it becomes then a learning module in its own right. You've obviously we've used the outline button, so you can choose to any one of the slides that you want and go back to the notes. So that was one example. It's fairly static as a PowerPoint, but it works pretty well in as the way we've distributed everything. But more so, I think we also have project students. Every year, Life Sciences has up to 60 e-learning project students, final year project students who do an e-learning project. Now, I use a variety of software. One of the ones that they use to create the actual learning resources is iSpring. And I'm going to show you a couple of the productions that the students have done this year. They know nothing about iSpring. They know very little about using PowerPoint before they start. But in a number of weeks, as part of their project, over a couple of days a week, they start producing something that looks quite different. So these become learning modules in their own right. And you can see there's a nice ribbon on the top with where we're up to. I'm just going to go through quickly so we get to you are going to follow a student. And they say, let's begin. And it's the beginning of the summer holidays, so they're telling a story. They're off to Costa Rica. And they start noticing what the ant trails were all about. And there's a YouTube video that would take them to watch something. We're not going to watch that now. So they talk to one of the lecturers. And so it all unfolds. So as we go through the whole presentation, and we go through and it's and there's bits of interactions as you go through. And there's a quiz. So this is the first bit of the quiz. We're going to start the quiz. And we'll go and submit. Oh, I got that one right. So continue. Incorrect, so you get all the various bits and pieces. Try again. I'll get one right in a minute. There's the bottom one there. And continue. So we're going through, there's only 3. And that sent all the results, actually this time, to a student email address. And I'll show you one more, which is a slightly different format and different look and feel. And you notice Mikhail was mentioned about how you upload resources. And you'll see there that the students actually linked a whole pile of documents in here. So it's all contained in one learning module. Skip the beginning.
Leukemia is a cancer of the blood.
So again, there was audio tracks put on here. And again, the use of the notes. And animations. To which there's audio track, but you won't hear the audio track because I'm just going through. Go back to the home. It's a complete navigation in one go. So if I go back to my product, so we've ended up, we've talked about iSpring, the product, we've seen some examples. Now, generally speaking, that's only the tip of the iceberg. It is very simple to do most of this. But the thing that really excites me particularly, and the one thing I'm really quite keen on, is moving through Blackboard. How do we put our iSpring into Blackboard? And there's a building block. So I do have, let's stop sharing. I've got a little video, which I'm going to show you now, on the movie. So this was something that we had lots and lots of quizzes in. So you'll see here the video that you can see at the moment. You've actually got the iSpring bit at the top here, standard bit of a PowerPoint. So this is all finished, compiled, ready to go. I'm going to hit the play button. And you'll see I'm running along the top now and I'm going to publish, which is what Mikhail was describing before. When you hit the publish button, you get a window. And in the window you have various options from playback, compression, protection and so on. So if we carry on a little bit further, what I was interested in more than anything else is the learning management system and the learning course, and I choose the type, which is a Blackboard Learn 9. Give it a name and then you can rate the quizzes and the slides viewed. So all this is the reporting data that will be transferred to the grade center in Blackboard. And when you publish it, it publishes it as a zip file, which can be then imported into Blackboard, which will be the second video I'm going to show you. You always get this message if you've already published something before that will just overwrite, which is standard procedure. So that was part one. So what we've done there is we've actually taken a PowerPoint presentation with lots of quizzes and things in, produced it into a Blackboard module effectively, which we're then going to upload into Blackboard Learn 9, which will be the next video, which I'm going to show you, and I'll talk as we go.
Excuse me, Yang. Quick question.
Yeah.
Can I answer 2 questions in the meeting chat?
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah, I believe I can write just you, but not other people.
I mean, if it's a general question, please bring it up. So. Are you all right, Mikhail, at the moment, or shall I carry on?
Well, yeah, of course, continue, but I'd like to answer people's questions afterwards.
Yeah, so I'll finish this section, and then we'll go through some of the questions. So this is part 2 of the Blackboard integration. So I'm into Blackboard, my normal course. I look for the tools, and you'll see an iSpring learning module. You browse for my computer. There's a zipped up file already there within your computer. You select that one, you choose it, and you submit to Blackboard. This is all standard procedure for Blackboard. And as it submits, it uploads it, and you then get a dialog window that will show you, give it a title, give it a description, and then you have an option for what do you want content items to be, whether you want to add a weight or percentage to the grade book. So as it comes in, I've just given it a course description. I'll move that forward a little bit. And you'll see all the quizzes I've now added to, put a percentage mark in, various bits. And again, it's just to show you the process. This is all done as you import the lesson or import the iSpring presentation into it. You can set the time, display it after. These are all standard Blackboard configurations. And you can track the number of views and grade. And then press submit at the end. And then you get a sample course. This is how it looks like in Blackboard. And you'll see all of the items which you're going to grade and the percentage score. And then you launch it by clicking the launch button. And your sample course comes in. And you go through the various elements. I'll just scroll through a little bit quicker. And as I exited the whole thing, you get a quick flash back on the Blackboard screen to show that all I've actually done is viewed the slides at the beginning and I've not done any of the quizzes, so you failed. The students see that straight away. All that information is also passed to the grade center. It's actually quite clever in the way it does this, which is quite nice. So I think we'll go, that's how we're going to get our iSpring into Blackboard. with the grade center, and that's through the building block. So there are some questions that are coming up at the moment. Mikhail's been looking at them. Would you like to take over a little bit, Mikhail?
Well, yeah. Also, I'd like to answer questions that some users asked me. So Meg Juice asked, do the files have to be stored in Blackboard if you want to use the building block? So the answer would be otherwise. You can actually publish iSpring course to any learning management system, including building block, and it's going to be SCORM format, SCORM output format. But especially for Blackboard, we do have a building block, because without it, you cannot submit courses there. And Jenny asked me, could you do all of this with a free version of iSpring? Yes, you can do that with iSpring free suite, but it's gonna be Flash output only, and iSpring free is little scant on functionality, to be honest. And it publishes just to SCORM 1.2. And as far as I know, Moodle is running SCORM 1.2. Maybe the latest releases of Moodle, the latest updates are also compatible with Moodle 2004 format, but 1.2 is still more popular amongst all the learning management systems, including Blackboard, of course. And yeah, all the results will be recorded automatically to the gradebook, to any LMS. And if you have any problem fetching the result out of gradebook, don't hesitate to contact us at support on our website, iSpringSolutions.com. We'll see what's wrong with the publishing, with the course publication, or with the way of how you upload it to an LMS. Also, we have some information on our website how to publish it to Moodle, so you can just go to iSpringSolutions.com and search for Moodle. All the information needed.
I noticed Kathy was saying it's a very, very basic one, but how do you import PowerPoint into iSpring? Well, actually, you start with PowerPoint, and then iSpring transforms that. And to add the interactive elements, to actually add the interactive iSpring elements, you just select them from the ribbon at the top, if you remember the ribbon that we had. So you wanted to put an extra bit, so you go to a slide and add an element. It really is very simple. I'm just looking. Any other questions? I'm just checking through the question list at the moment.
Well, yeah, Meg just asked if the building block is compatible with the latest Blackboard April release. Do you know, Jan, what Blackboard version do you have here?
We have Blackboard Learn 9 SP14. Yeah. Service pack, that is.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not that much aware of different Blackboard versions, but I'm pretty sure that it should be compatible with the latest release. At least I know that we recently updated our building block, so it is compatible with the latest Blackboard releases. And if it's not, definitely will come up with the update really soon upon your very first request. So MacJuice, don't hesitate to contact us if you have problems applying the current building block to your latest Blackboard version.
I think we've cleared most of the questions that I could see coming through just at the moment, so I'll carry on a little bit further. Is that all right with you, Mikhail?
Oh yeah, of course.
Let's go back to my agenda. So we've talked about the Blackboard building block. I think it's really quite important if we can get using the building block and the integration should make things completely different. And the thing that I like about it overall is that we can generate all the quizzes and the interactions inside the learning module in iSpring and PowerPoint effectively, then upload to Blackboard, and we don't necessarily have to use the Blackboard quizzes at all, but we can keep people contained within the content. So we can have 1 or 2 slides and then a quiz or an activity, another 2 or 3 slides, another quiz or an activity. Every time that's done, all those scores are being marked and recorded. So it keeps the learning context very much at the focus of what people are doing. We're not taking people in and out of different places. So I think we move on quite swiftly to the mobile platforms, and I think this is really where things are beginning to transform and change. It's been able to use your PowerPoints and make them easily accessible on most mobile platforms. And I think at the moment, Mikhail, again, will probably be the best person to go through some of this with us.
Oh yeah, some addition to mobile support. One of the main differentiators of iSpring between our competitive tools is that we actually have applications for iPad that it is a player that allows you uploading presentations on your device and play them afterwards, even without Wi-Fi connection. So you see that this little green switcher at the keynote page available offline. So when you activate it, the presentation will be downloaded right to your device, and that's how you can bring it wherever you go.
So what we're Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, also Android application is around the corner. It's already submitted to Android Store, and we'll just update builds of iSpring converters to be compatible with all these applications. Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I'm quite interested in is if we were looking at practical situations where we may have a whole series of protocols or something that's developed. It could all be developed in PowerPoint, transformed to iSpring, then made available download so people can put them on their bring your own devices and be used possibly in lab situations where they've got videos and interactions and they can watch what needs to be done. So, and within the learning app itself on the iSpring mobile side, as you can see on the picture there is a library, and you can imagine your library being practical bile whatever, 1, bile 2, bile 3, bile 4, bile 5, and you can have them all, and each one of those is a separate little learning module in its own right. And I can see that making the material much more accessible and easy. The key really is as we said before, having the available for offline use, which is rather than having it always available, having to have it online, so you cuts out your problems with the Wi-Fi. So we're all quite excited here that we're trying to work towards a mobile delivery of a lot of materials, and iSpring does align quite nicely to what we're trying to achieve. So I think we're coming to the end of the overall. I said it was meant to be an introduction. It's not meant to be the tutorials on how to use iSpring, because they have wonderful sets of tutorials that will show you absolutely everything you need to know. I think really I wanted to get over the point of how you can transform what is your standard PowerPoint into something which is completely different. And some of the things that we've created, you would never know they were actually created in PowerPoint to start with. And I'm going from a perspective that I've used it for a number of years. Obviously, I'm very happy to have iSpring with me today, because really their support has always been very good. When we've had any problems with technical publishing, we've sent them the PowerPoints, they've looked into it, they've tried to find out what's caused the problem, they've helped us all the way down the line, which is why I'm very happy to work with them this way, because they have always been very good supportive partners. So, but as a bonus a little bit, I think Mikhail will mention something about the free licenses were, well, sort of bonus for people attending. Would you like to mention that?
Yeah, of course. You can, all the participants of this nice webinar are welcome to email us at support@ispringsolutions.com with a promo code. Well, actually, it's not going to be a promo code. Just mention in the message body your name in this session, and mention that you'd like to have a free license for iSpring Suite. It's going to be 90 days fully functional version without trial banner on the output slides that you always get when you download a trial version of any product. I think we will be happy to provide it with free and ultimately, test out all the features of them.
So obviously, the invitation, won't worry too much because Polina's actually going to be sending me the information so that I will send this on to you so you can get hold of this for 90 days. And it does give you a good opportunity to have a play with the product. And hopefully it will be useful to get an idea. You've got the summer to play with, so while you're on holiday on the beach, you can have a play with your PowerPoint and convert it over to iSpring. But you do need to understand and try to get an idea of how it actually works. But really, remember, you've got to start with something that's pretty good, reasonable in the first place from PowerPoint. Most people have some very good slide presentations that would easily transform to this way. So I think I'm just trying to come to the end of various things. I think I've got, let me just check on any other, have you seen any other questions at all, Mikhail?
Yeah, I know. Jeannie also asked about 3 different iSpring apps, and she was confused about which one is for iPad. Actually, all of these applications are for iPad, but we have a special application, iSpring Learn, for our own proprietary LMS. It's called iSpring Learn, and a similar application with the same name. So using iSpring Learn, you can access your learning courses via iPad app. And another thing that I forgot to mention is that when you access a pre-saved presentation that's available from the other learning management system, from Blackboard using Player, that what I was talking about during the session, not iSpring Learn, but iSpring Player. So when you access a presentation from this Player app, it's going to be a problem to send results because this application is isolated from the network and therefore cannot submit SCORM results. So a good suggestion would be not using iSpring Player, iSpring iPad Player app to Blackboard. So, but you can use it for some presenting, some marketing presentations that you want to upload on your iPad and take with you to show to other people. So yeah, that's it. And also, Stuart Anderson asked me if there are any plans to put this on UOMS live server. I'm not sure about what's that, but probably it's a district of your
I can answer that one
university.
very simply. The building block is already on the test and development server at Manchester.
Yeah.
And so Stuart could actually look at that as well. I've actually already, that's where I did that video from, because I've already tested it and checked it out. So, and there's a change request in to get the building block properly installed on the live server.
Also, okay, great. Also, a little update on the Jeannie's question about the latest April release of the Blackboard. Actually, we haven't tested this building block with the latest release. So if you have any problems, just give us an access to your Blackboard, and we'll figure out what's happening and probably fix our building block if it's not working. Yeah,
I've not noticed anything at the moment. It seems to work as it does on perfectly so, but we are still testing. Andrew did suggest, does it work from Keynote? Well, it only works from PowerPoint, so if you've got some Keynote presentations, you can export them and put them into PowerPoint and then work on them further forward. It's fairly straightforward. Just trying any more last questions that I can see.
Yeah, and also last but not least, that I've seen you, Jan, demonstrating iSpring on Mac environment, but unfortunately, iSpring would work only on Windows machines because on Windows operating system, I mean, because of the PowerPoint for Mac limitations of having any third-party add-ins. This is a function of only PCs, Microsoft Office. So I believe that you use some kind of virtual machine on your Mac, right? Yeah.
Yes, I use VMware Fusion, which works really well. And that means I can run my Mac and PC alongside each other without a problem. I think at that point we might... if everyone's sort of more or less fairly happy with that, we will send out... This has been recorded. The recording and the links to all the documents and everything I've mentioned will be available to you, including the 90-day free trial for you without branding, so you can have a good look and see. And as I said, we'll just see where we go from here. But I'm sort of quite happy. It's 50 minutes in, so it's about right for a lunchtime webinar. And thank you very much for attending, and thank you, Mikhail, for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Jan, and thank you for all the attendees for your time during this meeting.
And I will just say goodbye to everyone. Bye-bye now.